G'day you beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today a little bit different, no reworks, haven't done anything in a few days. I've been a little bit busy. I've had some very physically demanding days at work and been physically exhausted, and the last thing that I wanted to do was come home and do theory crafting and mentally exhaust myself, because that just does not sound fun. So we're going to talk today not so much just about Visionary Games' Project Pheonix Rising, whatever that comes to be, but also about MOBAs in general. So we'll start off with the MOBA thing. I was listening to someone who I will not name a little while ago talking about how there's not much point in trying out these new 3D MOBAs because MOBA as a genre is dying out and there's proof everywhere. And most notably, the proof is, viewership on places like Twitch. For games like Dota 2 and League of Legends, and this is something that people that were Paragon fans probably don't want to hear, but a lot of the time League of Legends and Dota are actually being shat on in viewership by a little game called Fortnite, which is not in any way telling of how MOBAs are doing as a genre, more so how casually focused Fortnite is, and how it reaches a wider audience that has some form of interest in that. Personally, I don't think that MOBA as a genre is dying. I think it's at a point where it needs a little bit of a nudge in a different direction, or some form of evolution in the genre. That was weird what just happened right then. Gas escaped my mouth while I was midway through a word. And I think that's what Paragon could have been. And this person also argues that, the evolution was tried. It was tried with Paragon. Paragon failed. So that's proof that, nothing's going to save the genre. I don't actually think that using Paragon as an example for, having tried to evolve the genre is a very good argument to be made, because I think everyone that played Paragon had some form of issue as to why it wasn't done well. We're probably all going to disagree on some of those points. Like, I might have a specific issue among, as well as all of the other issues that people share with me, that they don't think was an issue. I personally think Legacy was a little bit too big. I think that the match times were too long, like other people do, but I think the map was a little bit too big. Rotations were too slow. I love the dunking mechanic, but I do think it was a bit of a problem. But that doesn't matter, because there are so many things that Epic Games did wrong with Paragon, most notably not listening to people and, pushing forward with change after change that just wasn't necessary. Just going down the completely casual route. A perfect example of that is last hitting, making it super simple for anyone to get a last hit, when last hitting is one of the, base mechanics of a MOBA that you need to learn. And I think we can all say that there's a reason why they went down this route, because Epic Games as a company just seems so much more interested in pandering to the casual gaming audience than the fanatics or the pros of a certain game, which is definitely a very big issue. So I don't think that with any of the issues that we can all list as a community that played the game, I don't think you can argue that a game made by a company that just made stupid choices is proof that the evolution isn't going to work. I think the best chance we're going to have at actually, seeing if the genre can evolve and regrow again, is going to come down to things like not necessarily just these two companies, but Unleashed Games with their Paragon 2, whatever it's going to be called, and Visionary Games with their Project Pheonix Rising, whatever it's going to be called, because these games are coming about because of the attempt of Paragon, and I think that both teams are made up of people who understand Paragon's shortcomings and understand the mistakes that were made and are hopefully going to fix those. You have Unleashed on one hand that is pretty much making it's a bit of a harsh statement, pretty much making the same game, and are hopefully going to fix a lot of the things that we thought were wrong and could potentially create something great. There's nothing against Unleashed Games and Paragon 2. I'm ridiculously looking forward to it. But it's a completely different kettle of fish to what Visionary Games are doing with Project Pheonix Rising, because they're taking the same mindset of this didn't work, this didn't work, this worked, this didn't work, but creating something brand new. So on one side, you're going to have a potentially better version of Paragon and see where that goes, but also have a brand new game from the ground up with Project Pheonix Rising that's also learnt from all of the mistakes of Paragon and can potentially create something maybe even better. Who knows? So that's how I feel about MOBAs. I have fallen in love with them. I'm not a huge fan of, I enjoy a little bit of League of Legends every now and then. I do enjoy Heroes of the Storm. But top-down games aren't my cup of tea when it comes to playing on PC. I lose my cursor so easily. I can be doing really, really well, and then all of a sudden, in the heat of a battle, I have no fucking idea what I'm pointing at, and it just goes to hell. So I'm not good at that sort of thing, but I do think it needs a bit of an evolution, much like the first-person shooter genre did. People used to say that, first-person shooters were dying out. Along comes Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and since Call of Duty Modern Warfare, there's been a massive resurgence into first-person shooter games. And they've evolved quite a bit since then. But anyway, so moving on to Visionary Games, and this is not going to be why I'm looking forward to Project Pheonix Rising more than Unleashed Games Paragon 2. It's just mainly just some things that I'm actually really looking forward to, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are looking forward to Paragon 2 that just don't really have any interest in Project Pheonix Rising. And a lot of the things I can kind of mimic those sentiments in a small way. I think a lot of it has to do with some of the aesthetics in regards to the game. Character models don't look as fancy schmancy. They have a wonderful looking jungle, aesthetically. I do like the aesthetics of it all and the route that they're taking. As far as layout goes, it actually looks pretty decent. It looks like there's a varied, monsters are quite varied. So, minions, bosses, things like that look quite varied. And let's be honest, minions and jungle camps in Paragon were pretty fucking lackluster. They weren't much at all. The main issue I have with Project Pheonix Rising is everyone, with the exception of the Warden character, the big robot dude with the shield and whatnot, everyone kind of looks, they have their niche that they're set in, whereas there's the hooded female character that kind of looks like their version of Gideon, who doesn't look, it just looks like Sparrow with a hood on and purple hair. It doesn't look that fantastic, but you have to remember that this is their first game. They're not Epic Games. Say what you want about Epic Games, they're assholes for fucking up Paragon, and we all hate them in some aspect, but they're working with their game engine that they created in-house and have been working with for many, many years. And it's to be expected that their characters are going to look ridiculously good. If they didn't, there's something wrong. But I can't help it. I'm still, I know that there's going to be, a bit of a downgrade in the way that characters look and stuff like that, but I still can't help, in the back of my mind, holding it against them. But I am still really hopeful for what comes out of it, because it does seem as though there is a massive emphasis on creating good gameplay, creating good balanced gameplay that works, economy systems that work, all that sort of thing that's going to actually be important. Later on down the line, we can have visual improvements and stuff like that and tweaks, who gives a shit. Which is something that I wish Epic had have done, because there was a lot of work that needed to be done before that visual update came out. It looked great, but who really gives a shit when the game was going down the toilet, so to speak. So I'm super excited for Project Pheonix Rising. I know I haven't really done much on Project Pheonix Rising, and I would like to do more in the future, but I feel that it's best at the state that it's in, without any, without anyone being able to sit down and play it. I think it's best that everyone just goes to their channel and just watches their dev streams and stuff like that to get an idea of what is happening within the game. Whereas, it's easier for me to make content for Unleashed's Paragon 2 because, I can just do what I'm doing. I can do rework ideas for heroes that I know are in the game, that I know have these kits, that I know have this niche. It's a lot easier. But I would probably say that I'm actually as excited, if not more excited, for Project Pheonix Rising. And that is not because I think Project Pheonix Rising is going to be a better game. It's because it's something completely new and different. I'm stupidly excited for Paragon 2 because it could potentially be a better version of a game that I love. And I'm as excited, if not more excited, for Project Pheonix Rising because it's going to be a completely new iteration and a new vision on a game that I love that could potentially be great. So this was kind of just a rant about stuff. I'm not sure that I really had any sort of generalized topic at any point, or if I've made any points that anyone was like, yeah. To be honest, I just needed to get something done while my niece was off on an adventure, and I didn't have to, run around and with her and let her put lipstick on me and stuff. So I thought I'd get done what I could get done, and this is what I've gotten done. So hopefully I said something today that you liked enough to smash that like button. If you have any opinions on anything that I've said today, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm very interested to hear what you think. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe for not necessarily more of this, but some more hero reworks. We're doing hero reworks for Paragon characters. We're about nearly halfway through the actual list of characters that are already released, which is not true actually. We're like a third of the way through. So lots more of them to come. If you want to hear my wacky, ridiculous ideas on how Unleashed should change the kits of your favorite heroes, then come back to see some of them. But I've ranted enough, so I will just finish by saying thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.